Each year, smartphones are getting better and better, and this year, there is no exception. The question I'm asking today, is the iPhone 12 Pro Max camera good enough for me to leave my A6400 at home and use that as a main source to shoot? Is it really necessary to have an £800 plus camera when your iPhone can do the same job?
So here's the question again, do we really need to use full professional cameras, or can we just use our iPhones to take our images and our videos? Have a look at these images and let me know down below in the comments what ones you think are shot on an iPhone or shot on the A6400. First glimpse, it is very hard to tell what is what. However, after figuring it out for the first time and getting it right, it becomes very apparent what is the camera and what is the iPhone.
So the iPhone 12 Pro Max comes with 3 different lens options. You've got the standard lens, which Apple call their wider lens, which has a 26mm lens. Then you have the teleport lens, which is around 52mm. And the final lens is the super wide lens, which is around 13mm.
So on the Sony, everything was shot in a standard mode and everything was color graded once we got into production. So let's talk stabilization. I feel like the A6400 didn't stabilize as well as the iPhone. The iPhone definitely took this one for me. I think the iPhone, it just looked so much more steady and stable, and the shots looked a lot more cleaner compared to the A6400, where everything looked, the shots looked really good, don't get me wrong, but it was very shaky and not very good at staying focused, I guess. Without getting into pricing, because obviously the iPhone is a phone that does other stuff as well as take pictures. I feel like a camera at that price, it should be able to stabilize your images, stabilize your videos, and just keep everything quite streamlined and sharp, which that was a big letdown. However, the iPhone definitely stormed through the gate and took that one. I do think the color clarity on the camera is really good. I think the images look really sharp. For example, if you look at the clouds just there, you can clearly see the outline of the cloud in, and it just looks like it should be there. It looks amazing. I think it does justice to the actual day, because obviously you wouldn't have seen it because you wasn't there, but just looking at it through the camera, you can definitely tell that the sky was amazing. The iPhone clearly does a lot of post-processing just to keep the highlights, especially on the images where we got the sun in the background. Saying that, it is still possible to get away with.
So this is the selfie mode, and within the selfie mode, I think it looks quite clear actually. I really like the way that it's letting the light in. Bearing in mind, I'm just holding my hand straight out. I can hold it up like this. Oh, yeah, that changes the scope of things massively. It looks so clear like this. Let's have a look on the iPhone and see what it looks like. Okay, so we were using a gimbal before, but the battery died. So the only problem we now have is I cannot see what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm in frame. I don't know if this looks right, but we're hoping that my hand's slightly covering it. So what I'm thinking, yeah, the most logical answer to this problem is probably if I use the front camera and turn the camera around so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got the front camera on. I can actually see myself and I can see what's going on. So if we walk over here, let's have a look and see the background is super clear. It's actually really amazingly clear in this actually. I actually can't fault it. I think you can tell you can definitely tell the difference of when it's been shot on an iPhone and when it's not, to be fair.
So the iPhone 12 Pro Max shoots in Dolby Hdr. It's one of the first things I did notice, and it is an option you can turn on and off if you desire. It looks great on the iPhone. On the screen, you notice that the images and the videos do look a lot sharper and a lot clearer compared to the actual camera screen that I have. However, when moving it over to post-production and moving it onto my LG monitor, you do notice that the difference where you can see that the coloring kind of drops and it's not as sharp and as crisp as it originally was on the iPhone screen. So it definitely has a look of slight overexposure in the image. But having said that, there's still the capability to color grade those images or videos just to make them just as sharp as you need them to be. And you can turn the HDR setting off at any point. Have a look at these series of images. Obviously, I've not labeled them, so you don't know which one's which. Let me know what you think is the iPhone and what you think is the camera. Both cameras can shoot in 4K at 60 frames. I do find that the iPhone looks really great, but the camera just adds that little bit more sharpness to each image, each video, and has more of a crisper touch. And I do feel like it is better than the iPhone. Saying that, the iPhone is really good and it is a very good competitor at this point. When it came to a zoom test, the iPhone on the actual phone, it looked great, but once we brought it over to the computer and we had a look and we wanted to edit, it lost a lot of quality and it wasn't as sharp and as clear as it was when we was looking at it on the phone. Whereas I feel like with the Sony A6400, image quality and the clarity in the image was very clear. So me being a small content creator, when I first started out, I started out using a iPhone, and then I upgraded to a new camera, which was a compact camera, and now I've upgraded to a Sony A6400, which is a big jump, a big difference in comparison. I feel like you can get away with using some of the newer iPhones, especially the 12 Pro Max, because the 12 Pro Max does not disappoint at all. I feel like it's got great stabilization. The images look really great, especially when you're using the HDR Dolby setting. They look really sharp. Downside to that, I feel like it gives you more work when it comes to post-production, which is a big letdown for me, because obviously you, especially as a content creator, you kind of want to do everything as quick as possible to meet deadlines and stuff like that. For convenience purposes, I definitely think that the iPhone, it does fit the bill. It's very convenient, it's easy. We all carry our phones around. So iPhone is one of a few very good smartphone cameras that are out. The Galaxy Ultra is another smartphone camera that is really good. The Galaxy Note Ultra 2 to be precise, amazing camera on it. And I feel like smartphones can be used for content creation, especially if you're doing outdoor shooting and stuff like that. For me personally, I definitely do like using the camera more. I feel like it gives you more of a true shot. Everything's a bit more cleaner, a lot more crisp. And I feel like a phone should be a phone at this point. I feel like the camera just gives you that little bit more of the finishing professional touch that you want. It can be a bit awkward and a bit of a nuisance carrying around a backpack to use your camera, and sometimes one thing I realized from this shoot especially is the shot does not wait for you, so you've always got to be ready. Whereas with your iPhone, you can just quick reach into your pocket, boop, there you go, there's your picture, just like that. With the camera, you've got to turn it on, make sure your lens is right, make sure you've got the right settings, and you could potentially miss the money shot that you've been waiting for all day. I definitely feel like the difference is very marginal and very small. Definitely for a camera lover, it is easy to tell what the difference is, but for just a regular Joe, an average consumer, it's probably not a big of a deal, and it's probably not something they would ever notice. And it does provide a really good clean shot on an iPhone or on a smartphone, and it provides a clean shot on a camera too. So I think it's just generally up to preference. For me, my preference, I'm definitely going to stick to using the camera. Hopefully we can upgrade that soon and try out the FX3, which is the latest model that's just come out. Comment down below on your personal preference. Do you prefer using a smartphone or do you prefer using a camera? Without getting into price points, because obviously a smartphone is made for a lot more than just taking pictures. So that's probably not the fairest comparison. However, it'll be interesting to know what you guys think. Let me know down below. So at this point, we've now made it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have, please click the like button just to show support for the channel. And I'll see you in the next video.